Okay, so I just wanted to get one more quick video out today because today I finally ordered the little motor for this. So this will be getting upgraded to a 3S system a lot sooner than I thought. It looks like the shipment day should be Saturday. So could be Sunday. But that means that this weekend, this summer, will get turned into a 3S RC car. So, a new bright nickel metal hydrate battery RC car that could maybe do like 3 miles an hour, 3-ish. Now we'll do probably 25, but just after I put it in, I'm gonna gear it down. So I'm gonna go with a bigger spur gear and smaller pinion gear. I might stick with the same size pinion gear that's on here and just go bigger on the spur gear. It's a very good question, but we'll see what happens when I get the motor. It is, I believe, an 11 or a 1200 kV motor, and it's rated for 8S, so you might see 6S in this truck eventually. There is obviously plenty of room in the back. I could, you can't really see in there, but I could fit 2 batteries or even 4 batteries back there. So yeah, you really cannot see in there at all. We'll see though. I think that I want to stick with 3S, mainly because that was the goal I was looking for, is to be able to use the huge stash of, well, let's just show you. Huge stash of 3S batteries, and I have even more. This is a new, this is just the ones that I have been recently charged. So recently by like 2 or 3 days. So yeah, all of that, this setup, I wanted it to be 3S because I have so many, and most of my other trucks, my Slash, my Arma, my Sentin, and my Kyoshi truck all run 3S. So everything I have runs 3S right now except for this truck. So the quicker I can get this swapped over to 3S, the better. And I do kind of like having its own battery designated specifically to it, but I really don't like nickel metal hydrate batteries. They're not very strong, in my opinion. They are inferior to LiPo, and all kinds of different advantages with LiPo. One being I will be able to charge the truck off of an even bigger battery while it's working just by putting it in the back. Now, the charger and bigger battery just in the back, and then charge it while I'm using it. Now, that would probably not ever happen because I probably won't ever need to, but I have everything to do it. I could hook up 2 3S batteries and fully charge a single 3S battery with the charger that I have. So, it could be done. But I probably won't do that because I don't need to. But we'll see. We'll see what the future shows. I know that I will be taking this truck on a lot of different trails. In fact, if it gets any warmer outside, this is going to go out on a trail very soon because if you look or have watched any of my recent videos, I have taken the belly out. I put it up in there now. So the motor is up in there. The ESC is all the way up here. And yeah, everything is pretty well hung up there. This axle will need to be, the rear axle will need to be adjusted. You can see it there, that it's at a really tough angle. But if you look at the front axle, that looks way better. So you might see a couple more modification videos to the bottom belly. Mainly me just moving the transmission and motor further up, and then removing this piece of plastic and turning it into a piece of metal, or even just sticking like a flat sheet of metal and then bolt these rails right to that, because then there wouldn't be as much body flex and the whole truck would basically just be mounted to that sheet of metal instead of it being these aluminum frame rails. Now I went with the aluminum frame rails because they bend and the plastic bends as well. So it makes it a lot more impact resistant, I guess you would say. And like if the body gets tweaked like that, like you just really reef on it, even with like the trailer on it, it's okay. Because it's plastic, so it's just gonna bend back. Like, I mean, you saw how rough I just ripped that up. Like, just bend it, and it just holds together. So, I mean, I'm not mean with this truck. I built it to be able to roll over a couple times and really be taken out for off-road trailing, and yeah, so durable. I mean, you saw that I was just pushing on it. Like, I like this truck. It's a good truck. It's going to get even better the more and more I own it, the longer I own it, because I would eventually like to do a full metal body under here and then just put weld-in little rails that I could just adjust where everything is and just put little holes the whole way through. So I could swap the axles if I wanted to and make it like a super fast truck, or I could leave it like with these axles, the plastic ones, just because they're cheap, they're easy to replace, it's fast. I mean, the axles this came from is from a Red Cat an Everest 10. So it was only like $140 something or $50 something out of the door, and then the tires were 50 something a piece, or for a set of two. So the axles are really cheap. You can find them for like $20-$30 on Amazon. That's why I went with that truck. Plus it had a 4-link suspension, which is everything that I needed. I don't know if you'd call this a 4 or 6. There's 2 bars on each side, and on each axle has 4 bars and 2 shocks. So I think that would be a 4 link, because there's 4 links, right? Anyway, yeah, that's why I went with this setup. Plus, there being 4 makes it so that you can just put 2 rails in the middle and 2 rails on the outer end, and you put the longer ones on the outer rails and the shorter ones on the inner rails, and then you can literally just move the axle back and forth wherever you want it to be. That's actually how I adjusted the front end Like, it looks like that the front end of the truck is just kind of floating there. But yeah, like, look at how much wheel well there is. The axles are completely under the wheel well. Completely under the wheel well, which is exactly what I wanted. I love these tires. Switching from these, that is a huge upgrade. So yeah, we got the trailer set up. The trailer might actually get these wheels because it sits a little higher with these, which doesn't make very much sense, but it's a straight axle. That doesn't make sense, but I think that I might have lifted the body up a little bit for these to turn. So like the wheels to be turned and still go up in. I don't remember though. That could be why these sat lower, because I was able to let it sit down a little lower. But anyway, either way, these bigger tires I think would give the trailer that little bit of lift that it needs. And then I did get another piece of wood, so I'm going to cut that piece of wood. I'm going to stencil out this design on that piece of wood, and I'm going to do a little bit more of a tongue look to the front of it, and then I'm just going to double layer it so it'll be like one piece or two pieces thick on the bottom, so you won't really see it unless I flip the trailer over. So that'll strengthen this up, make it look a little better. And then if there's enough wood, I'm going to put rails around the whole outside of it and a tire rack in the front. And I might even do a hinged ramp. So here you go. The new rigging setup. That's how it'll be for a little while. Like I said, we're going to be upgrading the 3S as soon as I do that. This thing is going outside, and it's going to make a lot of videos of me driving it. So let's hope that I have an ESC that can hold up to that motor. But I might only have to wait like a week or so to get a stronger ESC. They're not too expensive. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I found a really nice setup that is easy to replace and cheaper. A whole lot cheaper. So yeah. I hope you like the little old antenna. There isn't actually an antenna running to it, but I do like the antenna there. Alright, Sky out. You guys have a good night.